Crafting. How important is crafting? I think you and I could come to an agreement that crafting is one of the most essential things in a game like Star Citizen, because it shapes the entire reason you play the game. If it adds a whole new layer, multiple layers of depth and meaning to almost every interaction you have, from salvagers, miners, cargo haulers, player traders, security, and all that stuff. Crafting and further down the road, base building are the two major factors to bringing this all together into one cohesive loop. Now, how does it impact you, the player? Well, recently, as of about 24 hours ago, we've started seeing crafting tests come into the player environment. Unfortunately, I was not able to be in these tests, but I've heard a lot of feedback and I've seen enough to kind of make some conclusions about what this first version is going to look like, and some of maybe the early implications that we as a player base in Star Citizen might experience. So that's what we're going to go through today. We're going to go through a couple screenshots that I've been told are pretty accurate as to how the system works currently. And it's as far as UI and stuff like that. And then we'll touch on some of the details and kind of go through what that might look like and figure all this out together. So this is the first image we're going to look at. We're going to spend a lot of time on this one because this one, I think, shares a lot about what to expect in the game, especially potentially this year. I think crafting, well, I know crafting will continue to evolve over the course of the life cycle of the game, but I wouldn't expect it to get much more complicated than what we're kind of experiencing right now in the current tests and probably in 2026. So for those of you who don't remember, this is what we were shown at CitizenCon in 2024. So this is an early look at crafting. And this is kind of a rough UI of what it's all going to look like. Now, a couple things to note. I've been told that a couple things have changed. Like, for example, this portion here on the bottom, this is now moved to this top bar over here. So that they move this. The stats bar has moved down here, and the gun and image of kind of what you're crafting has moved to the top right area. So they've changed this around a little bit, but the look and design of it is very similar from what I've been told. Now, this part I've been told is fairly similar. Unfortunately, we have not gotten any look at what the blueprint section looks like currently. But how does this impact you as a player? So what we've been told, and what I've been hearing, is that these stats down here in the bottom, they are there, although the accumulated quality isn't fully there itself yet. So there are quality levels, and there are ways to kind of, I don't want to say game the system, but come to a conclusion as to how to get a certain quality level that you might need for a craft. And this is going to drastically change the way we play the game. For starters, I think the group that benefits the most from this is pirates. Pirates are going to now have very, very valid reasons to exist. But on the other hand, so will salvagers. Salvagers, miners in particular, are going to be a sought-after group of people, because if they can reliably hunt down the resources that you need for your craft, you need to become best friends with those people. We're going to start seeing a lot more orgs working together. Like, if Org A and Org B can come together and say, I'll do all the mining, I'll get all the materials, and I will sell them to player group B. And this group of people is your combat people, for example, or just people who don't want to go for those types of resources. So, like on the image that we have, you see we have like aluminum, for example. There are going to be groups, without a doubt, that are going to specialize in getting certain resources for you. And they might stockpile the highest quality materials of aluminum and copper and hadanite and janelite, for example. And they might specialize in those 4 items. And so you need to know and become friends with these groups, because if you want some of the benefits of these items, but you don't want to go do it yourself, you've got to find friends to do so. So yeah, this image is really, it tells a lot, and you can deduct a lot from this image as well. And just some critical thinking kind of help you extrapolate on how this will impact all the other aspects of the game. Because now you can start seeing things like mission rewards. I don't know if this is coming. This is speculation. Mission rewards can now give items based on a quality value. Player trading is going to explode. Even more so than it has. 2025 has been huge for player trading with Wicklow stuff. Crafting is going to take it to a whole new level. You're going to start seeing a lot more organized structures to try to facilitate these player deals because they're going to be happening so frequently. You're going to start seeing org contracts. My org already has this. We have org contracts with another org. We provide them with a resource consistently. And they pay us X millions of credits. And you're going to see that more and more often with resources, where you might notice that Group A over here, again, is mining all these 4 valuable minerals that we need. And maybe Group B has these other 4 minerals that that this group might need. And so now we might start seeing actual trading come into effect, where I have these resources, I have these resources, let's meet in the middle and let's work together to accomplish a goal. I'll give you what you need, I'll get what I need. We're both happy. We're already starting to see this unintentionally with Wicklow, because player trading in the grand scheme of things is rather small, but in the circle of player traders, so many of them are billionaires or trillionaires with more credits than they can possibly dream to do with, that they've actually stopped selling items. I'm not saying this is permanently happens, but I've noticed a lot of my regular people that I work with are no longer accepting cash as a form of doing business. They will only take a trade. So, for example, a very common one we're seeing right now is Apex Valkar Fangs in exchange for RC BMTs and maybe Wicklow favors, for example. I'm seeing these get exchanged left and right. In fact, I'm trying to find some myself right now. I need Apex Fangs, and so now I'm trying to figure out how do I get RC BMTs in enough quantity to trade them for Wicklow favors. I'm sorry, for Apex Fangs. And we're saying this now because of inflation and not by game design. So this is not a give credit to CIG thing. This is because they've messed up so epically with the economy so far that we are forced into stuff like this. But crafting will change all of that. Because, like I've said, you're going to have groups that specialize in materials. Like my group, I know we're going to specialize in some materials. We might keep doing Wicklow items, stuff like that. We might not be doing the Haddonites, the coppers, the aluminums, because we just don't do mining a lot. But we're going to need those materials because, like, you can craft FPS weapons. So, like, right now in the crafting tech preview, you can craft FPS weapons, you can craft ship weapons, and you can craft armors. And I think I heard backpacks too. And depending on the quality level of the materials that you put into these items, you can get them with better stats. I don't know about you, but I like better stats and I like winning. So I'm going to make sure that I can get the best version of my PAAR and the best version of my scalpel sniper rifle, whatever I'm using, because I want to kill the fastest. Or, like, our group, for example, has recently started trying to learn how to dogfight. We're going to rapidly want to craft some of the best ship weapons that we can possibly outfit our ships with so that we have the best chance of winning. Obviously, skill is a factor. I'm not saying skill is not a factor. But stats are a factor. And you are going to statistically put yourself at a disadvantage by not taking advantage of these systems. But we don't want to do the mining. We don't want to do the gathering. We'll pay for it. We'll trade you for some stuff. We'll run security for you if that's what needs to happen. But we don't want to do it ourselves. And there are plenty of groups out there that do. And there are lots of groups that don't want to do what we do. They don't want to have to fight people for it. They don't want to have to put a fleet together just to defend a couple of their mining ships, like that's okay. We'll take care of that for you. And all of that is going to start taking place in Star Citizen in 2026. It might not be to crazy, crazy scale or crazy amounts. It might not change the entire dynamic, but it will absolutely become an element in Star Citizen in 2026. And it's only going to keep growing from there. Because soon, once base building comes into play, it will absolutely link. And all of a sudden, like, we're going to need to build a base. And we're going to need all these materials to build this turret to defend our base against bombs or whatever. Like, we're gonna need that. We're gonna be in combat all the time as an orc, and we're gonna need to make sure we're protected and safe. And so we're gonna need to build hangars. We're gonna need to build ground vehicle storage. We're gonna need to have just general storage. We're gonna need to have walls and all that kind of stuff. And if we're not gonna go out and get those materials, then somebody does. And we as an org need to make sure that we are building and cultivating relationships with these groups to do that. So we'll now show you guys a quick look at what it looks like currently. Oh, there we go. Let's see. So this was also shown at CitizenCon, so I can show this. This is a look at the fabricator that we currently will have to play with. So very similar to what they've spoken at CitizenCon. You're going to go up to this little UI. You're going to start seeing things like these images to craft items. You're going to kind of select your blueprint, stuff like that. And I've been told that this fabricator can go on the fly and move. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. And from what I'm hearing is it will directly correlate with your and pull resources from your local inventory. So if you don't maybe have the resources readily available to put into the fabricator, into this spot, 'cause I think right here is a 2 SCU slot. But you have the fabricator stored at your home planet, say Orison, for example, and all the materials are already in your local inventory, it'll just pull directly from there. And then you can tell it, back to this screen, you can tell it, like, yes, I want to put the best version of this material or the worst version. And maybe in the frame, I want to have the best. In the wiring, I want the worst. And the condenser, I want the best. Because you don't care about this stat, but you do care about this stat, and you do care about this stat. So it's awesome. It's a great system. I'm honestly hyped for it, especially to see how it continues to expand. Like ship crafting, I think could be really, really, really interesting. And also, this is really cool. You can dismantle items as well. Now, big caveat, it only works on items that were already crafted. So you can't just go find a random PAAR off of an AI and turn it in and dismantle it for resources. Yet. I believe that's coming, but I don't think it's in yet. So it's only currently crafted items. What I'm curious about, and maybe if you have any experience this, let me know in the comments, is there a way to tell if something was crafted versus not? Like if I craft a P4, for example, is there any way for me to tell that my P4 is any different than the guys down the street? I don't know. That'd be an interesting question to ask. But yeah, just want to come out and give you guys a quick update on what this is looking like. If you have any questions on this, let me know. I'm talking with a lot of people who are in Evo right now, and I will do my best to answer any questions. But keep in mind, I was not in the playtest, so I don't have any first-hand experience of any of this. I am only relaying what I've heard from the community. I'm hoping to get hands-on soon, as I'm sure a lot of you are as well. But I don't have it yet. So take everything I've said with a grain of salt. Because I cannot personally confirm it myself. But I do trust all these people, so I think we will be okay, and I do think we are going to have a lot of fun with crafting. That's it, folks. I will see you guys in the next one. Next video should be a gameplay video, so keep an eye out on that. And if you haven't, go check out the video I posted yesterday talking about, or no, I'm sorry, not talking, showing off our latest operation called Operation Clean Strike. It's a very fun YouTube video put together. It took me like 10 hours. I'm still learning, so share some feedback with me in the comments on that video, and I will see you guys in the next one.